Hello and welcome to Bite Size History, History of the United Kingdom, brought to you by AI Cast. I'm your host Aidan. So far, we've covered the origins of the Iron Age, the emergence of ironworking, the development of early Iron Age society and economy, and early Iron Age art and craftsmanship. In today's episode, we will explore the spiritual dimension of the early Iron Age by examining the religion and beliefs that shaped the lives of the people of this era. From archaeological evidence and the few surviving historical records, we will piece together a picture of the religious practices and beliefs that characterized early Iron Age Britain. We will discuss the role of rituals, sacred sites, and the possible pantheon of gods and goddesses worshipped by Iron Age Britons, as well as the significance of these beliefs in shaping the social and cultural fabric of the time. Given the limited written records from this period, our understanding of early Iron Age religious practices and rituals is largely based on archaeological evidence, which provides a fascinating yet fragmented glimpse into the spiritual lives of the people of this time. One important aspect of early Iron Age religious practice was the performance of rituals, which often involved the use of ceremonial objects, offerings, and specific locations or structures. Rituals played a central role in the lives of Iron Age Britons, serving as a means to communicate with the divine, to maintain social order and harmony, and to mark significant events or transitions. Examples of ritual activities during the early Iron Age include the deposition of valuable objects, such as weapons or personal ornaments, in watery places like rivers, bogs, and lakes. These offerings are thought to have been made to the gods, with the choice of location reflecting the belief that water bodies served as liminal spaces, connecting the earthly realm with the divine. Another form of ritual activity involved the construction and use of sacred sites and monuments, such as hillforts, burial mounds, and ceremonial enclosures. These sites were often carefully chosen based on their natural features, such as hills or bodies of water, and were thought to hold spiritual significance. They were also focal points for communal gatherings, where people would come together to perform rituals, celebrate festivals, and strengthen social bonds. Sacred sites and monuments played a crucial role in the religious landscape of early Iron Age Britain, with various types of structures and locations serving as focal points for ritual activity and the expression of spiritual beliefs. One notable example of a sacred site is the so-called scarce monuments, which are long, linear earthwork enclosures thought to have been used for processional rituals during the early Iron Age. These sites, such as the Dorset Cursus and the Stonehenge Cursus, would have been the setting for ceremonies involving the movement of people and possibly animals along a prescribed route, often in relation to astronomical phenomena or seasonal cycles. Another type of sacred site is the hillfort, a fortified enclosure typically located on a prominent hilltop. While hillforts primarily served as defensive structures, they also held spiritual significance, with their elevated positions symbolizing a connection between the earthly realm and the divine. Ritual activity often took place within hillforts, as evidenced by the presence of ceremonial objects, such as pottery and metalwork, and the deliberate placement of structures like post holes and pits, which may have had ritual functions. Burial mounds, also known as barrows, were another important type of sacred site during the early Iron Age. These mounds, which typically contained the remains of the deceased along with grave goods, served as powerful markers of memory and ancestral connections. The construction of barrows was a communal effort, bringing people together to honor the dead and assert their collective identity. Some barrows, such as the famous Sutton Hoo burial mound in Suffolk, were exceptionally elaborate, reflecting the high status of the individuals interred within. Although direct evidence for the pantheon of gods and goddesses worshipped during the early Iron Age is scarce, we can infer some aspects of their beliefs from the archaeological record, as well as from later Iron Age Celtic mythology and the writings of classical authors such as Julius Caesar. It is likely that the early Iron Age Britons practiced a polytheistic religion, worshipping a range of deities who presided over various aspects of life, such as fertility, war, agriculture, and the natural world. Many of these deities were likely associated with specific locations or natural features, such as rivers, springs, and mountains. One deity that seems to have held particular importance during the early Iron Age is the so-called horned god, often depicted as a male figure with antlers or horns, and sometimes accompanied by animals such as deer or dogs. This figure has been interpreted as a god of nature, hunting, or fertility, and can be seen in a range of early Iron Age art, such as the Gundestrup cauldron, which dates to around the 1st century BCE. Female deities also played a significant role in the religious beliefs of early Iron Age Britons, with goddesses associated with fertility, motherhood, and the earth being particularly prominent. Examples of such goddesses include the Matra, or mother goddesses, who were often depicted as triple figures and are thought to have been worshipped as protectors of the family, the home, and the land. The religious beliefs and practices of early Iron Age Britain were deeply intertwined with the social, political, and cultural fabric of the time. Religion played a vital role in reinforcing social hierarchies, with the performance of rituals and the control of sacred sites often linked to the authority of elites and chieftains. For the people of the early Iron Age, religion provided a means to make sense of the world, to navigate the challenges and uncertainties of life, and to maintain harmony within the community. By performing rituals, honoring the gods, and observing the cycles of nature, the early Iron Age Britons believed that they could ensure the continued prosperity and well-being of their people. In conclusion, the religion and beliefs of early Iron Age Britain were complex, diverse, and deeply rooted in the natural world and the social and cultural context of the time. Although our understanding of these beliefs remains fragmentary, the archaeological evidence, combined with later historical and mythological sources, provides a fascinating window into the spiritual lives of the people of this era. In our next episode, we will move forward in time to explore the settlement patterns of Middle Iron Age Britain, examining how the social and political landscape of the Iron Age evolved over the centuries. As we continue our journey through the history of Iron Age Britain, we will uncover new insights into the lives and experiences of the people who shaped this fascinating period. We hope you enjoyed exploring the spiritual dimension of the Iron Age and look forward to joining you again as we continue our journey through the history of the UK. Thank you for listening. If you liked the show, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time on Bite Size History.